everyone. Thank you for joining this review. Means a lot. So the book for this week is Meaningful by Bernadette Jiwa. So we have Sri Ramireddy, me, KB, and Prakriti in the team. So we all three read the book and signed up for the review. So in a sea of books, why inspired? Why this book out of all the product books that you could have read? So here's a picture of something. What do you think this is? This is definitely not glue and bread. That would be that won't be appropriate. So this is actually called butter stick. It's an actual product that exists. So how about it? Like it's easy butter spreading on the bread, right? But how many of you actually heard about it, or how many of you actually use it or care about it? I'm sure hardly anyone, or mostly none. Nobody has used it. Or how about the cell phone receiver? Has anyone used it? Has anyone heard about it? Kavi? No, right? So the point is, no innovation is going to survive unless somebody wants to use it. So in the product building process, there's value creation and there is value communication. In a lot of cases, early on in the process, we are so focused on ideation and creation that we forget to think about the story that we'll ask the customer to believe in when the product launches. So we missed a huge opportunity in making the product better right then. So this book actually fixes that and gives us a blueprint about how we start from the customer story and then walk from there. Because people don't buy ideas, they buy how it makes them feel. So meaningful is something beyond great. It's something beyond great, useful, and delightful. So idea one, the relevance evolution. So here's a quick question, everyone. What would be your pick if you had to choose between the two? Custom PC or a pre-built PC. So you can put it in the chat. I'll wait 10 seconds probably. So I'm pretty sure most of the answers would be lying on the custom side of things, right? So if you look at why most of us would choose the custom PC, it's maybe because we want our product to be relevant to us because it's tailored for you, right? You want maybe you want great looks from the PC, so we'll customize you with RGBs or LEDs or something, or maybe you want heavy multitasking out of your PC, so we'll put in some more RAM sticks, or maybe you want gaming, so we'll put in heat sink or whatever. So all of us want the products and services we use to be very specific to us and meet our own unique needs. So much so that we are ready to trade in our privacy for doing it. So as the author says, relevance is the new requirement. So as I was talking about trading in privacy to get relevance, let's look at the example of Instagram over here. So do you think Instagram would be the same platform if everyone's explore feed looked very identical, or if there was an universal explore feed that was identical for everybody on Instagram? No, right? So we want to see the content that is meaningful and relevant to us, and we are ready to exchange our data in order to get there. So customers have come to expect relevancy out of the products and services that they are using, and it's our job as product makers to cater to it. So the story of Google, as author calls it, the relevance engine. The way Google used to work in the 90s is you put up a query and Google used to return 10 links. Then the 2000s Grammy Award happened. So there's this dress that Jennifer Lopez wore to the Grammy Awards, and this was the most hyped thing back then. This was the most searched Google query back then. So people were searching for that green dress J-Lo wears in a text query, and Google used to return 10 links, which probably had the picture of it somewhere in the website, but it was mostly textual in nature. Say Google what you wanted, or there was no actual way for Google to understand what content is the most relevant for this search query. So that is when the Google image search idea was born. So now this was a creation from that relevance story. So following on the same line, now we have Google Lens, where you can just point your phone to something and your phone will pick up the product or pick up whatever you are showing it there. So following on the same line, now we have Google Music search, which is amazing. You don't even have to sing a song, you just hum a song and it figures out which one it is. Next level, right? You should give it a try, definitely. So this story shows us how prioritizing relevance and customer story can lead us to innovation and great products. So the second idea from the book, the third A, every business is a fight. Every business person is fighting with the four C's in the market, the four big C's. There is clutter in the market. There is competition in the market. Competition is going every single day. There is commoditization in the market. I mean, once getting things delivered to you or getting things delivered to your home was a luxury. Now we have all come to expect food in 30 minutes, aren't we? Isn't that commoditization? And then consumer consciousness is growing day by day. People want to know what is in their food, who grew the crops, where did it come from, and how it is going to help them. So people are actually spending time and money with brands that resonate with the things that they believe in and they are passionate about. So suppose if you are vegan, or maybe if you deeply care about the environment and saving the environment, you will resonate with a brand that talks about these kind of things, and uh, this that builds stories around these kind of things. This is the new era of marketing that is happening right now. This is what marketing was in the earlier days. So from awareness to attention and to action. The first two, awareness and attention, you could buy, right? You can put in more. The more money that you put in the awareness and attention, the more actions you get. But now the game has changed so much that just because somebody, as a business owner, if you put up Facebook ads and you see that some people are viewing the ads, now just because they are seeing your ads, you can't say they care about you, because they are seeing a dozen more ads. Now, with the increase in all the four constants we spoke about, this is how marketing works right now, from attraction to affinity to action. People get attracted, they form an affinity with the brand, and then they take action. This is why brands are being so much customer centric and so much customer focused these days. That's why you see all these brands getting to places where their customers lie and where their customers are spending time and replying to Twitter, or just having conversation on Instagram, being active on a forum, or maybe pushing some quirky notifications that resonate with you. So in the clutter of brands, whoever gets closer to the customer actually wins the game. So the shift is happening from push marketing to pull marketing. So earlier we used to push our products as product makers. We used to push our products to customers. Now what we're doing is we are hoping to attract the right kind of customers to our business by the stories we tell. That is how marketing has changed in this time.
I'm not sure how many of you know about this U2 album in iPhone 6. I actually had a terrible experience with this. So iPhone 6, when they released, Apple thought adding a generous gift of a song album, U2's album was a good idea. So there's U2 for song album that came with iPhone 6 was pushed out, but the users did not have a way to delete it. That was the worst part. There might be people who liked having a free album in there, but more customers were unhappy, but that they had to deal with it, and did not have a way to delete it, and they had to wait a full software update before they can actually delete it. So the customers were clamoring out loud, you can own the platform, but you don't get to decide what I have and what I want as part of my story. So the summary, the customer wants to be seen and respected, sort of that pull strategy we talked about, not be sold and served as in like push. So the customer has reinvented. The customer wants a say in what needs to be in their phone, or in the product that they use. The customer wants to be part of the story and the journey. Expectation hierarchy. We know Maslow's hierarchy. So if we sort of take the customer expectation in as a mirror of that, we focus a whole lot on functionality, equality, experience, product, service, platform, and access. But I don't know if enough companies actually focus on developing that empathy and the relevance with the user and being able to respond to change. So the top two pillars need the most love and focus to be able to succeed in this business. So, but what is empathy? By being empathetic, you're seeing the world in your customer's eyes. You're walking in their shoes. You're talking to them as humans. You're understanding their feelings, and you're communicating your understanding back. So see, it's both ways. It's not like you're pushing your understanding. You're actually bringing it that way, and then getting an acknowledgement back. So it's a two-way process. Jiwa really likes this term, meaning business. So what is it? So how could you change everything by creating products for, instead of finding ways to market to your customers? And she also calls out this famous Steve Jobs quote, that you get so close to your customers that you tell what the user needs before they themselves realize it, right? I mean, nobody knew what iPhone brought to, computing in your pocket, right? Nobody knew about this. But so it's like sort of educating the customers much before they actually know, right? So what is your intention? That is very important. What do you want your customers to feel? Is it delight, surprise, love, or connection? Only if you know that, you'll be able to craft your product or service around that intention. It takes a whole lot of time, focus, effort, and iteration cycles, and you'll be hearing a lot of no's. But understanding the intention is important. I have a short video, Apple design intention video. Shouldn't take more than, it's 1.5 minutes. Rules for new rules of brand awareness. What does that mean? So the new rules are understanding the customer story, make something they want, and give them a story to tell, which will create brand affinity. So we win by finding wins for the people we serve. There are numerous examples and case studies in the book of different companies that have successfully created that brand affinity, that you're attracting the customers, and so they're finding the affinity to buy your product instead of pushing it to them. Customer is our compass. So the stories our customers believe in shape our ideas, and our ideas shape our customers. So it goes both ways. So there is a case study about Flow Hive in the book. That's an excellent example of the second part, right? Customers thought you had to, there was a lot of effort involved to get honey from hive, right? You had to kill bees, and you had to wear a suit, and even then you had to like filter the honey and all that stuff. But so there's so there the founders found a way for being able to get harness honey without doing any of that. It's almost like turning the tap on, and boom, customers found their affinity, right? I mean, it's good for the ecosystem. They get pure honey, and they can wear smoker if they want, and a suit if they want. So so yeah, please read the case study. It's very beautiful. Triple bottom line. What does that mean? We all know a bottom line means. So a gentleman by the name John Elkinson, he coined the term triple bottom line. So it's not just the profit P, but the people and the planet too that you need to care about to be able to attract your customers. And this is increasingly popular now, like Patagonia, Honest. There are like n number of companies that the book quotes that are looking for like B Corp certifications, and you know, how are you contributing back to the planet, and what are you doing to not, you know, not increase the damage. So yeah, please go through some of the case studies. Invisible problem. What is that? How many of you knew that cars in 1800s or early 1900s did not have a windshield wiper installed when they bought the car? I did not know for sure. So there was a lady by the name Mary Anderson who went to New York City. She was traveling in a streetcar, and she found that the driver would stick his head out of the window and manually clear the windshield. I mean, you can clear the windshield if it's still, but like, think about it. A car moving in a busy New York street, the driver is trying to clear the windshield manually. And so she was like, I mean, this problem needs to be solved. So she went back to Alabama, met with a designer, found a design, I mean, made a design that she patented, but she let I guess the patent lapse in 1920. But that's one of the prime examples of invisible problem. I mean, it's there, it's clearly there, but people have lived with it and dealt with it, that they're like, I think I'm just fine doing this, right? So I guess one of the takeaway exercises for any of us is to like go back and like look around us and see, are there any like invisible problems maybe? And I'm sure I'm sure we'll find some. Data, not just hard, but soft too. So screen on the left, we all know are metrics we like, want. The images on the right are the soft data the author talks about, right? It can be feedback, it can be reviews, or it can be gestures, it can be just a verbal approval. I mean, it's knowing the feeling, right? Exchange of that feeling. It's like, you know, it's showing it, and then also, you know, sort of helping the company react to it, right? There is a case study in the book for a NetApp. So where they actually solved this exact problem, where give me 1 second, where they solved this exact problem. So so some of these apps don't have a way to get a reviews, and also to categorize reviews, and be able to provide actionable insights. So yeah, so NetApp is a good one to check out.
Okay, so we are going to the next point. What can paper planes teach us about business? So when we were kids, one of the first handmade creations of our life was a paper plane. With one or two simple folds, we learned that our action can affect our results and that the way we build something matters. In the same way, we realize that the art of paper folding helps us even in understanding business. From the paper to the fold to the plane, these three elements represent our R&D process. With the paper, you first get an understanding of different dynamics and what features you can add. Basically, what folds you can do with a simple piece of paper. Then you start making folds, keep experimenting to create a product that becomes a prototype to our big idea, trying to reach the end goal of innovation. And that breakthrough is what we struggle with. And to understand that breakthrough, we always ask this question: what is the key to innovate? And the key to innovation is showing your customers their wings. It's not about making the perfect wings. It's about making a plane that flies. It's about making a plane that shows their customer their wings. And this is another insight that we gain from the book, that what do you think a bus, like what can a bus ride teach us about customer experience? I will show you the next GIF. So this is one of like this is the mode of transportation from where like this bus will be taking us from one point to another, and all the customers, all the passengers are in it, are on the same trip. But what is different? Their experiences are different. They're coming from different walks of life. That's different. And like based on the seating, like seating placements, their experiences are different. कोई ऊपर बैठा है तो उसका experience different है. Someone is holding the rod very tightly because they are scared. Someone is waving hand outside. Someone is sitting in front. Someone is sitting at back. Each person's experience is different, and that's what defines the worldview of the passengers. Based on that understanding of worldview, we go on to a very major question: how to convert tangled insights into a creative business model. So let me take you through that. One insight that we gain after understanding the importance of subjectivity is that we search for ways to understand and define our markets. But in like when we actually come to our products, we forget to apply it. That is why it's very important to acknowledge the subjectivity of customers and try to create a story that resonates with them. Another point, just as the exchange of stories is as much about listening as it is about telling, innovation is as much about understanding as it is about creating. That's something that I feel a lot of people will relate. As product makers, a lot of times we are involved in the creating part of it. But a lot of times taking a step back and understanding that what would work out, what do the customers, which feature is better for them, they are, where are they facing struggles? That's the part of understanding, and that we will understand from this example. So have you ever noticed what a great hairstylist does before he picks up the scissors? They listen closely to what the client says she wants, and then he takes a step back and really sees her. Not just the texture, length, and color of her hair, he's seeing all of her. The shape of her face, the distance between her eyes, the angle of her jaws. He also has to take other clues like her choice of clothing, her posture, her level of confidence. Why is he doing that? Because of a simple factor that he's trying to empathize with the client and understand what is important for them. So now the next part starts where the context is that a conversation where the client shares that my son's wedding is coming up and I really need to be tip top because the focus would be obviously on me, and like I want to look really good in the pictures. So from that place, the stylist starts it works. And one more point in this, which we realize it's not just a lot of times, even as a product manager, product analyst, we focus a lot on the technical part. So in that case, what the book says is that a good haircut isn't just technically good. It doesn't happen just by paying close attention to each section of hair or the angle of every cut. It's made possible by the stylist's skill in translating what he sees into a style that is not only good, but that works for this particular client. So we try to understand the context and empathize and bring in the human nature so that we are able to give a full experience to the customer. Now we go on to the next part of the innovation trifecta. The form and functionality, how the product looks and works, are non-negotiable, but it's the way a product makes people feel when they use and experience them that sets it apart. It turns out that there is no way to divorce the demands of the head and the needs of the hands from the longing of the heart. Now, before you start on your innovation journey, the story strategy blueprint helps you to understand the customer's worldview. Whether you are designing a shoe or writing a blog post, the story strategy blueprint will help you to create something that is more meaningful to your customers, something that satisfies their head, works in their hand, speaks to their heart, because it puts the audience at center. The journey on the story strategy blueprint begins at point one, the prospective customer story. In Now I will be explaining to you the story strategy blueprint and going back to the question and the intent, how to convert the insights into a creative business model. So there are four parts in it. The first one is story. The the first one is story, the second part is insight, the third part is product, and the fourth part is experience. The first part is about how you describe a day in the customer's life. The second is the insight. Think about the wants of your customer and how the products or service will make a difference in our life. Then you go on to the product, to the insights. Now come back to product and service to create for your customer. And the fourth, experience. Consider every touch point and the effect your product has on how your customer feels and how she perceives herself. I will share this, I will explain this whole framework through an example of case study of Khan Academy, which we all were talking about in the group. So in this case, first we understand her life. And in it, we realize that the student, what is the customer's story? Student who needs to learn often challenging subjects. Then we go on to the problems that the customer faces. It's learning in groups isn't always easy. Lessons may be too fast or too rigid. Sometimes as even students, we feel demoralized, have gaps in knowledge and limiting beliefs about learning. Then we go on to the insight. Okay, this was the customer's experience. This was the problem. This was the challenges that we were facing. What can we do? What are the insights that we can find in it? So, feeling democratized, having gaps in knowledge and irritating beliefs about learning, improve understanding of subjects, make learning personalized and humanized is our insight. Then we go on to the solution. It was the most simple solution at that point, but it helped so much because the free online video tutorials offering a world-class education for anyone, anywhere. And that realizing, even because we live in an Indian education system, it does not cater to everyone. It has a specific pace and a fixed structure in which everyone needs to get back with that structure. The classes work in a structure. But what is the benefit of having a free online video tutorial? First of all, this is the next part that we will go on, how it determines the experience of the customer. So what happens in this case is that first of all, we can pause, rewind, go back to the video and watch the same concept again and again till the point we understand it till the depth. Then second thing is it becomes accessible because it's available for a person from any country. Then it becomes accessible to us at no cost, and that makes a lot of difference. So what are these benefits? These are the tangible rational benefits of this product. Then we go on to the experience, the intangible emotional benefits that the customer, the student gets: relief at extra help, autonomy and understanding, possibility for growth and feeling more confident with our concepts. And in the ending, what the problem that is solved is learning is possible without expensive tutor or large classes, self-paced learning that suits students. And the perception change, whatever I need to learn, I can at a pace that works for me. And that is the motto of Khan Academy. Realizing that even in the windshield example that we had seen, it's the perspective change that comes in from invisible problems that we notice. So now I will go on to the last slide. And these are the next steps. see if you can identify in any invisible. So from one takeaway that we go is, I feel like one intent that we carry is, as product makers, that we really want to innovate. And to innovate, we need to be closer to the customer. We need to identify the invisible problems. We need to use the story strategy blueprint. You must apply, like, use the story strategy blueprint in the products that you are creating. And you can even access the story strategy courses available at storystrategy.com. And with that, I would like to end the session.